video today. We're gonna do one more before I show my palette collection. So I know this is kind of a weird angle, but I want to talk about brushes. I've been hoarding some brushes for a really long time. The last time I decluttered brushes, I think I got rid of over 100. I mean, it was ridiculous. So I'm just gonna kind of briefly show you what brushes I have in my daily rotation and what I'm about to get rid of because I never use. So as you can see right here, I do have changed up my storage for my brushes, and I have bought these organizers from Amazon because PETA likes to get up on my desk and rub his face all over my brushes. So there's usually cat hair everywhere. So these little organizers have really helped me to kind of keep my brushes a little bit cleaner, and then that way I can separate them so when they're clean they go in here, and when I'm ready to get rid of them they go back out into another container, which I'll show you. I have pretty much gone through my collection and decided, you know, what brushes I'm going to keep. Now, there's not going to be any big surprises in here. We've got Real Techniques, BH Cosmetics, Coastal Scents, some Morphe, a few Sigma, and then these Mash shader brushes that I like so much. And then also Wet n Wild. I love Wet n Wild brushes. So that's pretty much all I have in here. Everything in here, this is going to be a pretty much an easy declutter. These are just brushes that I use all the time. If they fit in here, if eye brushes fit in here, I'm going to keep them. And if it's going to be a little bit different with face brushes. So if you want to see a more detailed like go through of this, I mean, it's really not that exciting. It's just I have multiples of different brushes. I just tend to keep all my eye brushes out, and if I need to use them for a wedding or a special event, I'll just clean them and separate them out, just give them an extra clean. But these are just brushes that I tend to use on a daily basis. And then over here, I have a larger holder where I keep some puffs, some sponges, some kabuki brushes, and then my daily face brushes. So again, I have some Real Techniques in here. I have my No Name It, you know, cosmetic dupe, BH Cosmetics, Real Techniques, another like no name dupe that I love, Sephora, Elf, and then yeah, BH Cosmetics. So Elf and BH Cosmetics. So not a lot of high-end brushes, guys. I'm pretty happy with just, you know, regular drugstore brushes. There are a couple I want to get rid of out of here, and I am going to get rid of both of these two kabuki brushes. This one is from Elf. I used to love this thing. It is old as dirt. It's falling apart. I haven't used it in years. And then this one from Wet n Wild is beautiful and soft. But again, I just don't use kabuki brushes anymore. So these two are going to go. And over here I have my brushes that I've used that are dirty that fit in this thing, but you know, I want to keep them separated when they're not clean. So I've got my EcoTool sponge, my Real Technique sponge. All of these need to be washed. Again, BH Cosmetics, a Flower Beauty brush that I've loved for years, Wet n Wild, Coastal Scents. I've got a couple Sigma in here. So these are all just brushes that need to be, you know, cleaned and put back in there. And all of these actually do fit in there. So these are all the daily brushes that I have. If they don't fit in there, this is how I'm like limiting myself. If they don't fit in there, then I don't need them unless I just keep extras for the sake of my kit, essentially, which I don't use that often, but when I do find it easier to have backups of brushes. So I'm going to go ahead and set this back over there because all of those are being kept. So far we've gotten rid of those two. So really what I want to talk about is this little organizer right here. This is an organizer that I keep in my IKEA 5 drawer, and there's some brushes in here again that I know I want to keep just for backup purposes or when I do a job, but there are some brushes in here I know I can absolutely 100% get rid of. So we're just gonna go ahead and dive right in. So first off, I've got some of these flat kind of buffing brushes. I was obsessed with these for a long time, but I never use them anymore. I think I got these off the Wish app or the Home app. So I'm gonna pass those on to my mom or my sister because they both want to try those out. I do have this little fan brush from Sephora, but I don't use fan brushes. I haven't really found a use for them. So that one is gonna go. Now I do have some BR 110 brushes from Coastal Scents. These are a great foundation brush. I don't have any, I don't think actually out in my brush holder right now, but I do like to use these when I'm doing foundation on clients or bridal parties, so I am going to hold on to those. This was my favorite foundation brush for a long time. This is the BRC S49 brush. I really enjoyed this brush. I like the feel of it. Every now and then I do bust out this brush or I will take it on job, so I am going to keep that one as well. I do have some backups of my BRC S25 brush. This is my all-time favorite blush brush. I absolutely adore this. Again, I'll switch this out when I have one that's dirty, or I'll use this one on clients. So I take that one. This brush, this brush I don't really ever use unless I'm putting primer on a client. This is the BRC S29 brush. I love this brush for just applying primer, and it's just great to use on clients. So if you haven't checked out Coastal Scents, I think Coastal Scents makes just some fantastic brushes. So I will be keeping that brush for that purpose. This is my e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. I used to use this all the time for foundation. I don't use it anymore. That one can go. I used to use this, the Wet n Wild flat foundation brush all the time because I loved using this brush with, this one is actually clean too. I just cleaned this. How crazy is that? I actually used this when I was going through my cushion foundation phase because I loved applying this instead of using the sponge that was in with the foundations. So I would use these little like soft flat top brushes to go in to the foundation and apply it to my face, and I really like it. But since I'm not using cushion foundations anymore, I am gonna pass both of these on. They're beautiful brushes for $2. I mean, they're soft. The only problem is that they stain really bad if you use them for foundation. I just don't use them, so why keep them around? On that same bent, I am going to get rid of my Wet n Wild powder brush. I have other brushes that I love more. I love my like little It Cosmetics knockoff that I somehow got. I think I got it off the Wish app. I love my Sephora powder brush. I love my Real Techniques powder brush. So this one's gonna go. It's just not big enough. I've got a big old face, guys. I've got a big head and a big face. So that one just is not doing it for me. I do have the BH Cosmetics 124 brush. This came out when they started coming out with their sculpting brushes. I use it as a blush brush, but I don't reach for it that often. I love some BH Cosmetics brushes, but this is just not one of them. I really enjoy their vegan line, and I feel like this line came out when they were really starting to up their brush game, and this one's just not doing it for me anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. I do have my e.l.f. contouring brush. Now guys, I do a really soft contour. I don't contour really heavily on myself anymore, and I find that brides don't like a heavy contour either, so this one's gonna go. Same with this one. This is the BH Cosmetics 124 brush. I used to use it to bake with and kind of cut that contour, but I'm not into that so much anymore, so that one's gonna go as well. This is just a little flat concealer brush. This is the V7. I think I'm gonna keep this and move this. No, I don't need it. I'm not gonna use this. These vegan brushes are beautifully constructed. I really like them. The only problem I have is that the paint kind of comes off, but you're not paying a lot of money for it, so who cares? So I'm gonna pass that one on. I don't use concealer, apply concealer with a brush like that. I generally don't cut out my eyebrows, which is what I would use that for, so that one's gonna go. This 125 brush I used to use for highlighter, but the bristles have come out kind of funny, and now it has like a weird cut to it. There's like a gap in there. So that one's gonna go as well. That's BH Cosmetics. Same thing with this Wet n Wild foundation brush. I'm never gonna use it. It's gonna go. I do have this Hourglass brush. This was sent to me for review from Octoly. I hated the Vanish foundation. I have tried over and over and over again to like that foundation. I feel like it wears really well if you're going to be filming for like an hour maybe, but after that it just does not wear well on my skin. This is a beautiful brush, but I have other brushes that I like more, and for the price I just don't think it's worth it, so that one's going to go. This is an old school like ride or die favorite. This is my Eco Tools Kabuki brush, and I love it, and I did a review. It was one of the first videos I ever did on my channel. I did a review on this brush, and I love it. It's a soft, beautiful brush. Somebody even gave me the suggestion of, when you're on the go, you can put powder on this brush and just kind of put the top on, and then it's very multi-purpose. You can, depending on how far you want to unfurl it, you can use it as a kabuki brush, you could use it as a blush brush, you could use it as like a contour brush. It's a really nice little brush. I love this brush. I have not used it in years. I'm torn. I don't know if I should get rid of it. Oh, you're a maybe, sir. I'm probably going to get rid of this one. I don't need it, but, I have an e.l.f. small stipple brush. This is one of those brushes that kind of fell apart, and I had to super glue it back together. I don't use Cream products, which is really all I would use this brush for. It's a nice little brush, but I never use it, so it's going to go. Here is another flat shader brush from the vegan line. This is the V4. It's just a bigger version of the V7. Again, I don't use these types of brushes, so this one's gonna go. Now, this brush I have not found a use for. This is the V3, but as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking it might be a nice precision blush brush or a nice highlighting brush. So I think I'm gonna hold on to this one and actually put this one in here. I have a couple Delium Tools brushes that I love, love, love. They've been out of rotation, but they're about to go back in. This is the Delium Tools 988 brush. This is an amazing brush. It's so super soft. This was a Samantha Riley recommendation. I got it at IMATS, and I love this for contouring. I love it for blush. It just fits perfectly on my cheek. So that one, you're gonna go back in there, sir. And then I love this one. This is the Delium Tools 990. It's very similar. Where are you? It's very similar to the Sigma soft angle contour, the F23. It's a little bit less dense, if you can see that, and it's because it's a little bit longer cut, it's gonna have a little bit more flexibility to it. So I like this one when I wanna do more heavy contouring. I like this one when I wanna do just a softer contour. So I'm gonna keep both of these. Now this brush I bought legitimately just because I wanted a big looking fan brush. No use for it, never used it. I love Coastal Scents brushes. It's a nice soft brush. This is the BRC N36, but I never use it, so it's gonna go. All right, so that's a little crowded, but I managed to fit all of them except for my BR 110 brushes and my BRC S29 brush. So since I'm always gonna have brushes in and out of rotation, I'm fine with having those clean brushes in there and then my dirty brushes over there. So I think I'll have plenty of room. So I think I'm gonna put, actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep one of these out. I am gonna keep one of the BR 110s out because I do use them. So these three I'm just gonna put in my kit so I can get rid of a whole drawer in my Alex 9 drawers that's going away. So these are actually just gonna go in my physical kit. And then these are the brushes that I am getting rid of. So pretty happy with that. I wanted to get rid of that drawer and make it empty. So 19 brushes that I'm getting rid of. So it's not a crazy declutter. If you wanna see a crazy brush declutter, I'll link my old brush declutter up in the card so you can see that, because I definitely did some damage there. So, but I'm really happy with the setup. Again, I wanted to keep my clean brushes clean and I want to keep my dirty brushes just separated so that I know to clean them and I can put them back so they can just rotate out every couple of days. So I'm really happy with that. Oh, you know what? I need to make a decision on this one. I almost completely forgot. So I'm getting rid of this one. I just don't use kabuki brushes anymore. I like a big fluffy powder brush. I love it. It did a great job while I had it, but I don't need it anymore. So those, I'm getting rid of 20 brushes. So that's not bad. I'm really happy with that all of my brushes can fit in these two containers and then just that little round container when they're dirty. I'm really happy with that. I'm trying to limit the amount of space I'm allowing myself for certain things because, like I said, I know I'm always going to be an eyeshadow palette collector. I'm always going to want to try new things. So the more I can cut down and limit the space I have available for certain things, the better off I will be. So I hope this was interesting for you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.